What's going on, everyone? This is DC Picks. I'm going to give you the best bets for UFC Vegas 95. I'm going to give you a safety parlay. I'm going to give you some straights. And I'm also going to give you some nibbles / sprinkles that you can chuck $5 to $10 on and hopefully build up your bankroll for small sum. Before we begin, let's quickly go over a recap of last week's betting slate. So once again, we hit the safety parlay. So that's 7 out of 8 safety parlays hit since its inauguration. Which I don't know about you, but that's pretty good. That's an 88% clip. And we hit that really with no sweat whatsoever. We also hit 8 out of 13 predictions, which, it doesn't really matter for this video. This is about the best bets. But more importantly, our straights, we hit 3 out of 4. We hit that Fernandez KO sub pretty easily. The Alves and Breno one, not to go the distance. I know it was a bit steep in the price, but still it was a good leg that you could put into some parlays or whatever you really wanted to do. And then the Azmat KO, plus 1 in 45, a nice plus money bet that we hit there. For the nibbles, none of them really came close, but like I said, the nibbles are just, extras that you can put on, the cherry on top that you might win quite a bit of money with by only chucking on $5. So they're not really expected to win, they're just there to hit, here and there. I think without further ado, let's get on to the safety parlay for the week. So our safety parlay of the week contains 3 fighters here. One of them is a boxing fight, and then 2 of them obviously are for UFC Vegas 95. So I'll start off with the first leg. That's Joel Ariarte to just win his money line. And I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I like to put in 3-leg parlays simply because of the bookie that I choose. If I have 3 or more legs in my parlay, they actually give me a boost to my odds. So that's why I've done so there. It's kind of like a filler leg. He's a 21-year-old prospect. He's got over 120 amateur wins in boxing, and he's kind of fighting a scrub that hasn't fought since 2018, so it's good filler leg if you have the same promotion for your bookie. But yeah, that's why I chucked it in. Otherwise, you can just put these next 2 coming up, which is the first one being Carol Rosa. And really, guys, I just don't think Kianzad's good at all. Rosa's going to have the more damaging shots. She can mix up on the ground. You saw what the leg kicks that she did to Aldana, and Aldana would smoke Kianzad every day of the week. And that was a very close fight with Aldana. I just think Rosa has all the chops to beat her here. She can wrestle her, grapple, push her against the cage. She's definitely going to have the better visuals. Kianzad gets busted up in the face all the time. Kianzad hasn't had a KO in over 10 years, so I don't think that's going to be on the cards for her. She's going to have to out-volume Carol Rosa for the whole 3 rounds. I just don't think she's going to be able to do that because Carol Rosa has the better all-round skill set. Now, the next one is Gregorio to win, just his money line. And this is kind of like the same principle for Rosa. I just don't think his opponent in Kazama is good at all. He has no striking. He definitely has no striking defense. You saw what Garrett Armfield was able to do to him, and Nakamura as well. And people forget Nakamura is not a striker. He is a wrestler, and he just put out Kazama quite easily. Gregorio, he has good kickboxing. He trains at Cerro Longo, which is a very good camp to be at. I actually think he finds a KO here. And I just think, he has the better wrestling, he has the better striking, better defense, and has had the better competition in his career, even though, Kazama has fought someone like Nakamura and Garrett Armfield. He lost them quite convincingly, so I don't even count that as competition because he got dominated within the first round. So, yeah, I think this one's a pretty good safety parlay to put together. I was going to put in a few other legs, I was tossing up between some fighters here because this is a very juiced card, but I just got some hesitancies with some other fighters, so I like these 3 here, mainly these 2 really. Forget about the Ariarte leg, the Carol Rosa and Gregorio to win straight up, and that gives you a good plus money there, so I like it. Alrighty, on to the straights and the props. So the first one is Williams to win in round 3 or points at plus money. And guys, I don't know if we haven't learnt our lesson here, but Williams does not have any finishing instinct whatsoever. You saw what he did to Tafa, Sherman, Bresky. Not once in any of those fights was he close to finishing. He's 34 years old, so I don't think he has any finishing chops like he's going to evolve or anything like that. He's going to grow his BJJ or anything like that. He's going to be one of those wrestlers that holds on, does a few pot shots here and there, and wins by decision. And that's what he's done in his career. We've seen what happens to Deniz as well when he gets taken down. You saw it in that lane fight. He just lays on his back and really can't do much either. So I'm just covering, I don't think Williams to win by points is much more than winning in round 3 or points. So that's why I've selected both potential, because you never know. Deniz could be absolutely gassed by the 3rd round, and Williams just finds a mercy stoppage in that 3rd round, and you'll be pretty upset if he does so. So I like the round 3 or points at a good plus money there, plus 125 for that one. The next one is Gregorio by KO. I kind of mentioned that in my safety parlay, but Kazama has like 3 out of 4 losses by KO. He has no striking defense. 6 out of 8 of Gregorio's wins are by KO, so that's, in favor of him in this method. And he's won by leg kicks before. He's won by KO. I believe on the Contender Series he won by KO against Cameron Smotherman, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, and that's a very good opponent to get a KO against. So he has that power, he has that stand up out of Serra Longo gym, and just mix that in with Kazama having no clue what to do on the feet, no wrestling to get it to the ground, actually a bad gas tank as well, just all the things going against him here. So I like Gregorio to win by KO at even money here. So yeah, I'll take that one. Next up is Danny Barlow to get KO at plus 120. Sorry. And his name is left hand to God, and it's true to what he does. He has a precise left hand and just precise overall striking skill set. I mean, he's going to be the much more accurate striker compared to Vretnikov. And we've seen Vretnikov hurt before. He got hurt in the Morales fight, but more importantly, he slows down, he gasses hard in fights. The halfway point of fights, he doesn't like completely gas to where he's just, he's nothing, he's an empty opponent, boxing bag, but he does gas to where he slows down. He's very, very hittable, and I just think if he fought better competition, they would be able to KO him. Even a slight diss on Michael Morales is he doesn't have that finishing instinct, and I think Barlow does have that finishing instinct, and I think he's going to be able to put him away, especially as the fight goes on. So I like Barlow to just snipe Vretnikov. Vretnikov might be dangerous at the start, getting those takedowns and whatnot, because Barlow does have pretty bad defensive grappling, but as the fight goes on, as Vretnikov slows down, if he doesn't find that finish on Barlow, I do think the chances increase of Barlow finding that KO finish. So at plus money, I like that compared to the steep price that you're paying for him on his money line. The last one is Chepe and Jackson not to go the distance. And, people keep on underrating Jackson. I think this is a really good fight for him here. I'm still picking Chepe, but, people are saying Chepe is a lock. I don't think he's a lock. I don't think he's a lock at all. Jackson has very good grappling, and you notice in every single one of his fights, when he gets the fight to the floor, he'll either keep the fight there for the whole round, or he'll find the submission victory. We saw Chepe get kind of ragdolled by Morgan Charrier, and Morgan Charrier is a French kickboxer. He's not a wrestler at all, whereas Jackson is a wrestler, is a grappler. So I do think Jackson has a chance to submit Chepe. And then on the feet, I think Chepe has a large chance of knocking out Jackson. We've seen Jackson get chinned before. We've also seen Jackson slow down tremendously in high volume fights, and Chepe always brings that high pressure, high volume fight. We saw Jackson die in that Billy Q fight. So I think if the fight goes the way Chepe wants it to go, he's going to be able to have that chance to knock out Jackson just due to fatigue, really. I don't think Chepe has the most power, but I do think he packs a punch, and I do think, like I said, he brings that high volume approach, and Jackson's going to have to keep up with that pace, and if not, he's going to get finished. And I think fight not to go the distance at minus 139 near even money is pretty good, because I think both avenues are there for each opponent. Jackson could get that sub, Chepe could get that KO, so I like it when those two opportunities arise for each opponent. So yeah, minus 139 for fight not to go the distance there. And guys, I know it's a pretty bleak page here. Yeah, I'm sorry about this one. I only could find 2 nibbles here. It's a pretty juiced card, and when it's that juiced, he's kind of, and there's not many fights. There's only 10. I didn't really look at the Gutierrez versus Lee fight either, because I just got put together now, and not all the markets are out. So yeah, just not many things I like on this card, and especially high price tags are just there's very far and few between. But anyway, we'll go to the first one. So that's Luciano to get the KO at plus 500. I think this is a ridiculous number for one of her avenues. She was so close to getting that KO in the 3rd round against Alcantara in the first fight that they had. I just think she's going to have the opportunity in this fight. She's a much better striker of the two, and we've also seen Alcantara gas, in the first fight that they had, and in the Reina de Santos fight that she had. She gassed as well in that fight. If Reina de Santos put up the pressure like Luciano will do, she probably would have found a finish on Alcantara and get that her own KO, but she didn't, and that's a fight IQ for Reina de Santos. But I don't think Luciano has that. I think she'll stuff the takedowns. And I think she's the much better striker on the feet and put that pressure, and either win by a knockout blow or by just completely gassing out Alcantara like she did the first time and finishing off what she couldn't do in the first fight. So I like plus 500 there for an avenue that I think she can reach quite easily. The third one is, I like it. Okay, I like it because of 2 reasons. Firstly, we know Denise, he's a come forward kickboxer. He packs a lot of power. We know that. That's the obvious ones. Those are the face value things that you look at. But something that people don't notice is Williams' non-finishing instinct is going to play against him sooner or later. He's going to get screwed over because of his lack of finishing instinct. You watch those fights against Chase Sherman, against Tafa. In the third round, he is gassed himself. And he's just so open to getting hit. His takedowns are not there as much. And you know, if he's fighting a better striker, they're going to knock his head off because he just leans in with his head and tries to grab the leg, and it just looks horrible. The visuals are horrible in the third round. And if Denise has any cardio left or any, you know, will to win, he will have an opportunity to KO Williams in that third round. So I really like this prop here. I know it's a huge price tag. I know there's a lot of puzzles and pieces that have to go together to get this prop here. But I think you have to take it. Just chuck $5 on this one, because I promise you, if it gets to the third round, you're going to want this bet here in your bet slip, because I do think it is very live to happen. So yeah, guys, very short card, and it's a very short betting slip for me. It's a shocker of a card. I'm not gonna lie. You know, you don't need me to tell you that. You can just see that from the fights and from just the low amount of fights. 10 fights. You know, it was nearly 9 fights as well. It's just a ridiculous card. I'm never really too negative, but you know, you gotta sometimes be realistic. And this is not one that I'm exactly excited for. But I won't complain because there's fights, and I never complain when there's fights, and I can chuck a few bets on. Guys, please subscribe. You know, leave a like, leave a comment. I mentioned out 2 weeks ago. If you want to do a $10,000 to $10,000 challenge with the safety parlays, I've hit 7 out of 8. You know, if I can get 9 out of 10, I definitely think you guys should be wanting that, because you know, it's something that we're making, you know, steady profit with. So why wouldn't you want that? Yeah, so just let me know in the comments. Please subscribe, like I mentioned. I really want to get this channel up to around 1,000 subscribers, so I can start doing fight companions with you guys on Sundays and start watching the fights with you, and you know, have a bit of banter in the chat, go over some bets, whatever it may be. I really want to get involved with the community, and I think that's a good way to get there. Other than that, do your own study, do your own bets. Don't follow these bets blindly. You know, if you disagree with something, go the other way. I don't mind. It's up to you what you do with your money. Other than that, enjoy the fights. I'll get back to you next week for UFC 305 predictions. I'm going to be gassed for that one because I'm going to that live. And yeah, other than that, enjoy your weekend. I'll catch you later. Ciao.